Hi everyone. Some of you may know me already or may have seen the first webinar on the launch of the Program Quality Self-Assessment, or PQSA. For those of you who may not know me, my name is Berenice Chavoya Perez, and I am part of Social Policy Research Associates, or SPR. In case you don't know SPR, we have served as the evaluation partner to OFCY and its grantees for the last several years. While as the first webinar centered on providing more information about the PQSA development, our process for launching, and provided tips on effectively sharing the survey tool with your staff, this webinar is centered on reading your PQSA report and help to make meaning of the results to help improve program and identify which areas may be a priority for action. So SPR designed these PQSA report profiles specifically for you to give you data about your program and support you in understanding the progress toward implementing quality programs. We generated individual program reports for you to help lift up your own program strengths and priorities for growth. And our hope is that through your candid responses, this tool can serve as an actionable document that can help you continue improving the quality of programs to advance outcomes for Oakland's children and youth. The primary goals of this webinar are to walk through key components of the PQSA report, provide information to help you navigate the report and interpret results, and also to share questions to help you make meaning of the report with your staff. So before I take a look at the program profiles, I'd like to start by giving a quick overview of the key components that make up the PQSA, starting with the dimensions of program quality. You can learn more about the different dimensions of program quality by checking out the first webinar. And this first webinar provided more details about the process for actually creating the tool. It gives different detailed information about each dimension and also shares our own process for launching the tool. So at a high level, there are 6 dimensions that are included in the PQSA report. And as a reminder, we developed this tool based on your and other OFCY grantees' feedback on what program quality looks like for your programs. We pair this information with a review of other quality tools, including the YCAR Center's Youth Program Quality Assessment and others. And ultimately, we grouped your ideas into different categories, or what we call dimensions. And by coupling these 2 components together, we were able to bring in the context of the attributes and needs of your programs here in Oakland with research in positive youth development and parent engagement. And in doing this, we created the OFCY Program Quality Self-Assessment Tool. So second, as we mentioned in the first webinar, most program quality assessments focus solely on providing measures of progress in quality dimensions. And while that gives you a sense of your strengths and areas for potential improvement, it doesn't necessarily provide you with some direction on where you might direct your energy strategically as you work toward improving your programs. So recognize that having this kind of extra support is useful for programs that may be doing so much already, but could be stretching capacity. So we included 2 different scales in this tool. And these are designed to give you both a sense of where you are in terms of quality measures, but also provide some data that might help you decide how and what to prioritize as you develop plans for program improvement. Both of these are on a 4-point scale. For the progress scale, this goes from a 1, or at the exploring phase, and then it moves upward, a 2 for developing, 3 for satisfactory, 4 for exemplary. For the priority scale, the scale goes from 1, not a priority, to 4, a top priority. So now let's take a look at the report. So we recognize that all this talk about program quality dimensions can feel removed and informal. So we thought it would be important to remind ourselves of what the results look like, and we can see it in the context. Each report has a summary cover page, which details your program results by each PQSA dimension in both numeric and bar chart format. At the top of the report, you will find your program name and the number of respondents from your program that took the online survey. The more individuals that took the survey, the more representative the data is of your overall program. And if only one individual completes it, then the results in the report will reflect only their perceptions and may not be fully representative of the program as a whole. So below that, you'll see the listing of the 6 dimensions, along with the average scores and standard deviation for both progress and priority. with a subsequent bar chart that graphically represents these numeric ratings. On the right side of the summary page, you can find a full description behind each progress scale for each of the ratings. So after the summary page, you will see the average ratings and standard deviation scores for both progress and priority for each item behind each of the PQSA dimensions. And again, this also shows it to you in numeric format, as shown in this table, and a bar chart, which I'll share shortly. For example, here we have the safe and healthy environment PQSA dimension. So below these ratings, you will also see any comments that were included by anyone that took the survey. And if no one added comments in this area, then this will remain blank. So each dimension will also include a bar chart, and this showcases your average ratings for each item for both the progress and priority scales, and offers a more visual representation to show this data. Below this data, you will also see any comments that were included by anyone that took the survey from your program. And if no one provided any comments, in this area will remain blank. So your full report will include this information for all 6 PQSA dimensions. So I want to now turn to how you can make meaning and how you can use your program results. So I'll start off by sharing that there are several uses for this report. It's designed to be an internal reflective document that can give you information on different facets of program quality. It can also be used to gather program feedback and highlight opportunities for improvement from your staff. You can use it as a launching point for discussions with your staff. It can also be used to put together data as reports to funders or community members as you apply for funding, and to highlight promising practices in your program. It can also be used to highlight strengths, needs, and priorities more generally. So I now want to turn to some considerations and questions that may come up as you interpret your results. So you may wonder what is considered a high and what is considered a low score. And as a rule of thumb, you can consider a high score any average score above a 3.5. For the progress scale, scores that correspond to this average rating are for respondents that fall between satisfactory and exemplary. For the priority questions, a 3.5 falls somewhere between moderate priority and top priority. A low score is any average below a 2, which for progress scores corresponds to developing. For priority questions, this corresponds to low priority. And so we also want to note that having a low score does not mean you are doing poorly. It may simply serve as an indicator of a potential program need or reflect an area that is currently not a high priority for your organization for any number of reasons. We also provide the standard deviation in these reports. And so the standard deviation generally does not indicate right or wrong or better or worse, and just simply describes the distribution of responses from your organization in relation to your average score. So low standard deviations indicate more uniformity across responses, while high standard deviations indicate more variation and might signal an opportunity for program-wide discussion to understand why perceptions of program quality are different across your respondents. So it's important to know that standard deviation as a data point is not as useful if you have a very small sample of survey respondents. And it will also not be calculated if you only had one respondent take the survey. You may also wonder why your average scores for progress and priority may differ. So it's possible to have significant differences between your progress and your priority scores, and that can also present an opportunity for discussion for your program. So for some programs, having high average progress scores, while at the same time maybe having lower scores in priority, may indicate that your program quality is already high for that dimension and may not have needs for improvement. On the other hand, having lower average progress scores and higher average priority scores can signal that this is a good place to start talking about improving program quality in this area. So we hope that you're able to use the information from this report to continue conversations with your program staff around program quality. We offer these questions as potential conversation starters. Were there any surprises? If yes, why? Did these results line up for where you think the organization is in terms of areas of strength and weakness? What did you notice about areas of progress and priority? Are there any discrepancies? What can we learn about the points that were shared in the comments section? So finally, you can use the program quality self-assessment report to also inform future strategic investments for your organization. For example, you can make distinctions between immediate and long-term needs. You can also identify areas for development and consider how you might seek opportunities for professional development, trainings, and/or peer learning support to support you in your efforts toward program improvement. And you can identify areas of significant strength and consider how you might share those strengths with others and make them more visible to your service, community, and to other potential partners or funders. Finally, I really want to thank you so much for your engagement in this process. If you have any questions about the process, the tool, the information in your program report, or if you'd like a thought partner, you can always feel free to reach out to me, and you have my contact information here below. Thank you so much.